All right, boom. Joining me now, OMB Director Russ Vought, old friend, best OMB Director possible. Russ, welcome back to the show. So, rumor has it that we got a big rescission package, an Elon Musk DOGE rescission package coming up. Can you confirm it?
I can. We'll be sending that up on Monday or Tuesday whenever the House is back in session. They will get our first rescissions bill. And again, this has been proposed and we've talked about it. We want to make sure that Congress passes its first rescissions bill, including the DOGE, and we will send more if they pass it. And so this is the first one is foreign aid, USAID cuts, many of the waste and garbage that was funding not only wasteful but hurting our foreign policy, but also the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and NPR. We'll be sending that up and we're working with Congress. And we've had good conversations to make sure that they knew what was coming. They had some input as to changes that could be made to make it something that could pass the House. And we're excited for that to occur next week.
Simple majority, is that what you need up there?
Simple majority in both the House and the Senate, and the virtue of this is that it's a process that also evades the Senate filibuster. So, again, it needs to pass, and so we are being very careful that we do not use our procedural opportunities and in going down a path that won't lead to passage. But we're pretty confident the House and the Senate are going to work with us to get this thing into law.
So, Russ, the Elon Musk DOGE total on their website is, I think, $175 billion. I don't know, that's 10 or 20 more rescission packages?
Well, look, that's for fiscal year 26. Fiscal year 26 is the full budget year. We sent up $160 billion in cuts to non-defense spending, relatively consistent with that number. And that is the lowest number since fiscal year 2017. If you adjust it for inflation, it's the lowest since fiscal year 2000. And so we are doing everything we can to make the DOGE cuts permanent, either through rescissions or through impoundment. The impoundment is still on the table and something we will consider. So that we have tools in the executive toolbox that the president has run on that we firmly believe are at his disposal. And all of those tools are something that we're going to be looking at over the course of the next several months. So this is going to be playing out. It's not going to be something that, hey, we're going to have it in one bill. It's going to be part of a process over the next several months. And remember, the one big, beautiful bill is very important for all the viewers. It cannot include discretionary savings to the bureaucracy, procedurally under the Senate rules and law. So it is many things, but it is not the vehicle to enact these DOGE cuts, which we will do and which we are in the process of doing.
All right, so I get that. Now, look, Russ, you mentioned the $160 billion of the, I think, non-defense discretionary spending. That's a big number. I get it. You're going to put a budget out to give everybody a roadmap of what the president wants to see here?
We have plans to do the budget after reconciliation. Where we are, we've already sent our budget up first, to be clear. We've sent our discretionary budget up.
Right there. Come on, buddy. So why don't you send it up first, Russ? You'll influence the Senate, and you'll give the whole country a roadmap, my friend. In other words, tell me, that'll cover discretionary spending, non-discretionary spending, entitlements. Here's one for you. Are we going to get a balanced budget? In your planning and the president's policy vision, will we get a balanced budget in 10 years? And what kind of economic growth are you assuming? Those are great questions. You know that.
They're great questions, Larry. We have been in the process of
lost. Don't hesitate. Go for it.
We have been in the process of getting the most important priority done, and that is the one big, beautiful bill, the reconciliation bill, that is not just a proposal. A budget is a proposal. We are in the business of actually passing law. It has $1.6 trillion in actual mandatory savers for the first time ever, and it is nearly double the last highest watermark in the 1990s of $800 billion of work requirements. We are in the business of passing the DOGE cuts and getting the discretionary cuts locked into law and doing that in the non-defense appropriations process. We are seeing record tariffs come in. Right now, we're up to $3 trillion over 10 years of tariffs that are coming in. And given where we are, have one trade agreement done. They're negotiating many right now, but already we are seeing a massive uptick. So we will provide more additional information to be able to tell that story, but it can't come at the expense of the real work necessary to pass as soon as possible the big bill that you've been championing and now moves to the Senate.
Well, I would just say, okay, look, I love these all these ideas. You're exactly right. I'm sorry, you can't count the tariff revenues because Congress didn't pass it and the CBO has goofy rules. We should abolish the CBO, but that's another segment. But Russ Vought, if you're going to put out, you have, I know you do, in the budget office, you've got 10 years planning. Does the budget balance at the end of 10 years right now in your planning process?
We are planning to hit balance as the president has instructed us to do. We have sent up the discretionary portion of the budget. We are focused on reconciliation and explaining to the country the effects of what we have already doing and are doing. The other aspect of the bill that I think people need to understand is that CBO completely uses a gimmick to hide the fact that much of this tax relief is an extension of current law and preventing a historic tax increase from coming on the books for the American people. That's what we're trying to prevent. This bill reduces deficits by $1.4 trillion at least and helps us with the national debt. That bill is right in front of us. It now moves to the Senate. It will be our focus in addition to locking in the DOGE cuts.
So the Senate Republicans could do us all a favor and use the current policy baseline, which has all the tax cuts in it. Well, I wouldn't even mess with the CBO. I wouldn't even say good morning to the CBO, and I certainly wouldn't take them to lunch.
I think it would serve the country well to not have the confusion by having a baseline that doesn't reflect the reality of what current law and current policy is. Artificial sunsets in our tax policies don't apply to the artificial sunsets in spending. So why do we treat revenue different than we do spending? It makes no sense, and as a result, it has confused the country over the last week from viewing something that is truly historic. Any number of the provisions in this bill would be something we talked about for months on end. This president has put them all in one bill. They are historic, and it deserves a groundswell of enthusiasm by fiscal hawks, and I think over time you'll see that.
So, Russ Vought, last one, my friend, last one. So you basically said you're going to have a balanced budget at the end of 10 years as part of your planning process. I just want to know, what's the economic growth assumption that Russell Vought is using along with the others of the trio, Scott Besson and Kevin Hassett? What are you using for growth, Russ? Come on, you can tell me.
Well, Larry, I'm not going to announce the budget on your show.
Why not?
We are working on the reconciliation. But here, let me say this. You know, and I know, and of course the president knows, the extent to which economic growth is fundamental to being able to deal with debt deficits. It's one of the reasons why it's so paramount to extend these tax relief. The notion that, like, if you're just a fiscal hawk and you think that somehow not extending the tax cuts or dealing with the revenue side is going to have a foundation to deal with welfare reform, you're kidding yourself. It doesn't happen. Right. You have to have that foundation, and then you put the country in a position where it could start talking about reforms and savings and changing the way that this bureaucracy has been weaponized against the country.
3%, Russ. You get another extra $4 trillion. I'm telling you, 3%, $4 trillion. It's worth hearing. I know you're looking at it. Folks, that's OMB Director Russ Vought, an old friend, best budget director around. Thank you, Russ.